Creating from the Heart, the Artistry of Living. I'm Suzy Vance, and I'm here with Em Racine. How about that? Em, you are with Save the Dunes, and what do you do for them?
I am Save the Dunes Community Engagement Coordinator. So my role is sort of mostly with outreach and public education and events for Save the Dunes, but I also do grant writing and I manage our social media and I do our communication. So if you get newsletters from Save the Dunes, those are coming from me.
We get everything from you.
Yeah, yes.
You keep us in the loop.
Yes, that's kind of what I say about my role is that there's a lot of work going on at Save the Dunes, but I'm the person who shares out our work that we're doing. So I let people know what's going on and make sure that they stay up to date and they know when events are happening and all that good stuff.
And how did you get into this?
Well, I graduated with a bachelor's in fine arts from UIC in the city, and when I was going to college, my parents, they said, you got to go to college, you got to do that. And I said, okay. And I started to think, what can I do for the rest of my life? And I had no answer. I didn't know, there was no nurse job or teacher job or thing that fit exactly what I could see myself doing, but I knew I can always, for the rest of my life, I wanted to make art. So,
whoa, she struck a chord.
Yeah. So I went to art school and, I chose UIC because it had not just a fine arts focus, but I was able to take anthropology courses and courses like sustainable physics and just a really range of extracurriculars outside of my art role versus a formal art school.
That might feed it.
Yes, and that's exactly what it did. Everything kind of just started to inform each other. My interest started to grow, and not only was I making art, but I really felt that making art was about connecting with people and sharing how you feel about something to someone else transmuted through something. So after I graduated, I knew I didn't want to go for my master's like a lot of my colleagues in fine arts did, and so I kind of got into the career field or the job world. I worked retail jobs and front of house management jobs, and then I got into event managing and event planning for a small business called Rearbird Preserves, and I did all of their front of house managing for the store, but also events. And that was really what I started to really get excited about, gathering people, getting people involved with stuff that they cared about and that I cared about. And it just became this kind of symbiotic exchange of energies to plan events that people were really interested in. So after that role, I did some freelance time. I worked for the Chicago Parks District for a while as their digital storyteller. So I was working on the south side of the city with youth of all walks of life in their Young Cultural Stewards program, and I was documenting all of it. So I was seeing this really amazing relationships unfold in front of me with the young folks and the teaching artists and nature. And so I started to have all these, really big thoughts and feelings around how to connect nature and art and sustainability and community and all this stuff. So when the role at Save the Dunes came up for community engagement coordinator, not only had I had a lifelong love of the dunes, been coming out here my entire life, mostly beaching it for the weekend and enjoying the lake. Didn't really know all of the ins and outs that I do know now about Northwest Indiana, but I knew my heart lied in it, and that's always kind of been my driving force toward looking for roles. So
here you are. How did you find out about that opening?
Well, my mother, bless her soul, she really wanted me to have a career job. That's, the most digestible thing to do.
For a parent.
And she was just sending me things. Those 2 years I traveled and did freelance work and contract work and bar jobs and the works of just all the different kind of things, wearing many different hats that, and so she found the role, actually. I think she saw it listed on Facebook and sent it to me, and it was eyes wide open moment for me. It was too perfect. And I put my heart and soul into, doing a really great application and a cover letter, and I learned how to, speak empathetically about my connection to environmental justice, really, and the area. So I think it was just like meant to be.
And you remember, I'm sure, the name Kay Franklin
Yes.
and her cohort. I'm missing her name, but there
Yeah.
were the two of them who literally, I think, were almost personally responsible for saving the dunes.
Yeah, I mean, the history of Save the Dunes is just incredible. I actually just did a presentation Wednesday night of this week. Be available on YouTube for everyone else to see it now.
That's good. Hey, tell them. How do they find it?
Save the Dunes YouTube channel. So
Okay.
just Save the Dunes 1952, I believe, is our username. On the historic advocacy of Save the Dunes and how we came to be and how our work got feet, basically. And the truth of the matter is that it was a group of women.
That's right.
And it was a group of women. They were from all walks of life. They were teachers. They were secretaries. They were lawyers. They were just the list and range of their experiences and their knowledge that came together to make the movement happen.
And to save
Yes.
the dunes.
Save the Dunes. And it just, the history is really incredible. So if
And they saved it from business and even in some ways the government.
Well, yeah, the real history is that we fought long and hard with the Indiana, representatives and government because they didn't want a park or beaches or wetlands or forests to save. They wanted to use the entire coastline for industry, and they were going to. They had the plans. They had it all set in stone, and if it wasn't for Save the Dunes,
nothing like money.
yeah, it really is. And so
We need a balance.
yeah, and I think Save the Dunes really strives to find that balance for folks because we all live in this area, and some of the realities are that a lot of our economy is based in industry here, and a lot of jobs and things are based in industry, but those people still enjoy the dunes. And
That's
so
right.
we need to uplift them in a way of like reminding people that it's not just industry on our shoreline, and it's not just beach, it's like community and collaboration. Yeah. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's great. So here you are.
So here I am. Yeah, and I've been in the role for 1 year, and we've got some. So when I started, I kind of had jumped in on projects other people had started, and I think that's some history of Save the Dunes too. Is we're always kind of working with the last person, what their passions were, what they were involved in, what they cared about, and when my predecessor, who was in my role, really got us re-involved with Lake County, and we serve the entire Lake Michigan watershed in Northwest Indiana, which is a really large majority in Lake County. But the area gets left, behind or kind of in the shadows of being a certain, not the dunes. And it really very much is the dunes.
Right, it is.
So they really got us a new footing kind of in Lake County. So
And the watershed, the whole deal. It's not like just the beach.
No.
It's everything works together.
Yes.
If you want clean water and if you want a good environment.
Interconnectedness, I think, in Northwest Indiana is something Save the Dunes is really trying to promote for folks, because not only do we live and work and recreate, but yes, we drink out of this big body of water. That
Hopefully.
So the other projects that Save the Dunes is really getting into right now when I started, I began an advanced recycling project, collecting plastic bags and films from the community, and the goal was to collect 1,000 pounds in 1 year, and in exchange for our collections we would be given a recycled plastic bench from the company that we worked with, and we met that goal in under 9 months from community members. And
Are we doing another one?
I would love to do another one. We are hoping to have another org actually take on the project, and I'd be happy to be a liaison for, promoting sustainability in other sectors, sort of, because people are still really interested. People are still dropping off plastic at the Barker House for me. I'm gladly taking it and donating it. But we talked with Shirley Hines about the possibility of them taking it on. You know, there's any school, any organization, any community group can do this project. And it's really easy. It's with a company called Next Trex, and they supply you with everything that you need in terms of containers to collect and a web portal to enter your weights. And our bench has already been shipped and arrived at the Barker House. So it was really easy and seamless and like really rewarding, because I think when we talk about recycling, people kind of recycle and then say bye-bye and don't think about, you know, the next things that really happen or where that plastic goes. And this is a really visual and hands-on understanding of recycling, which I think a lot of community members could benefit from, you know, being involved in. So if you have a business or you have a school group, you know, Girl Scout troop, church, sustainability group that wants to do this project, reach out to me. I'd be happy to show you the ropes. I don't currently have capacity to do it again. I was kind of the sole proprietor of the project for the last, 9 months. And
you have another job besides that one?
Yes. So we actually have 2 really exciting projects starting. One is a stepping stone for sure of the recycling project. And it's working directly with the Indiana Dunes National Park and through a grant with the National Park Foundation to rewrite permitting for vendors to reduce their single-use plastic use in the park, and then do an outreach campaign to visitors and gateway communities about how they can visit our parks plastic-free. Because the plastic problem in Northwest Indiana is very pressing, in my opinion, and I'm also doing a presentation on that next week. I've got lots going on, so that will be an exciting 2-year project, which includes working directly with the concessioners and National Park Service and community members about reducing single-use plastic in our area.
This is marvelous.
Yeah.
So Em's got a project for you, should you choose to take it on.
Yes.
Think carefully, because maybe the place you work or maybe the organization you belong to needs a project. And I'm sure she'd be happy to help you get it together.
Would love to. Would happily be your liaison.
That's fabulous. So if you had some advice to give someone who is stuck, who lost their job, didn't know what to do, was getting out of school, what did I go to school for? What would you say to them?
Well, the first thing I would say is that really listen to your gut about what you care about doing every single day, because that's what I get to do at work. I get to do stuff I love and care about every single day, and it doesn't always feel like a job. It often feels like I'm glad I'm getting paid to do this, almost like recycling and pollinator gardens and talking with folks about the dunes. Like, I'm getting paid to do that. That's the best job. So for folks who are coming out of school or maybe changing careers, like I didn't start this role until I was in my 30s. And between then I was doing a bunch of other things. So it's never too late to get into your passion job either. It might take a while to figure it out, but listen to your intuition about what you can do every day.
And volunteer, because you never know where that might lead.
Absolutely. I think spending your time doing the things you love will always lead to a fulfilling life. And if you just send your directional energy to say, I want to do work like this, it will come to you, and you can find it. And the internet is a best friend. You just got to use those right search terms. I mean, be expansive on what the sort of roles or jobs you can do because at Save the Dunes, only one person on staff has a kind of degree that suits like environmental advocacy, which is our advocacy coordinator, Harshini, who has a law degree. But everyone else has come from a really varied background of experience and education, and what really brings us together at Save the Dunes is our passion to do it. Just like our founders, we all came from different walks. So I would definitely say be expansive in your ideas about what a job could be too, because I would have never thought that this could have been my job.
You never thought it was out there.
Yeah, I never knew that this was a job, so.
And you still don't, right? In some ways.
Yeah, in some ways it doesn't feel so jobby. It feels
It's fun to
fulfilling.
get a paycheck for doing what you love.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you so much, Em.
And please follow along on social media with Save the Dunes. That's the best way to stay engaged. Feel free to come visit us at our headquarters here in Michigan City. We work out of the historic Barker House. Not the Barker
That's not the Barker Mansion.
Not the Barker Mansion or the Barker Cottage or Barker Middle School, none of those things, but the Barker House.
And where's that located?
It's 444 Barker Road. And so that's on off of 20 and Cleveland on kind of the south end of the downtown area.
Right.
Yeah. And stay tuned because we're doing lots of things. And if you care about getting involved in the area, if your heart and soul is in the region, the way that everyone's at Save the Dunes is, you'll be in like for like company. So come join us, come talk with us, share your passions and love of the dunes, because we love to hear that people are happy we're saving it and that we're saving it for the next generation to come.
Great. Okay. Thank you very much for joining us. This has been fabulous. I'm Suzy Vance, creating from the heart the artistry of living with Em Racine. We'll see you next time.